This is Football Night in America, presented by Allstate.
All right, clear 39-degree first Sunday of 2020 in South Philadelphia. Playoff football back in the city of brotherly love. The fans there are ready for it. After leading the banged-up Eagles to 4 straight wins and the NFC East crown, Carson Wentz makes his playoff debut. Up against Super Bowl champion Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, they're in Philly where they won on Week 12. Seattle, Philadelphia, first time ever in the playoffs as Wild Card Weekend. It's been wild. Wraps up, and we get you going with Football Night in America. Whatever's happening in a couple of channels down the dial, if Minnesota wins, we'll see them in San Francisco next Saturday on NBC. The highest remaining seed from Wild Card Weekend goes to Lambeau a week and a few hours from now on Fox, and they build to see which NFC team will go to Miami for the Super Bowl. Welcome to the show, Mike Tirico, Mike Florio, who's very attentively watching this show, not the Vikings game. Rodney Harrison, Chris Sims, and of course Hall of Famer Tony Dungy. We love the playoffs. We love the feel for it. The teams are warming up, so let's get right on the field in Philadelphia, presented by Allstate. This is feeling like a defensive game, so I want to start defense, and we'll start with the Seahawks.
Well, I'm looking at Jadeveon Clowney, and he's the key to their defense. He brings the energy. He brings the motion. They're going to move him around and try to find out that mismatch because the Eagles have so many injuries on the offensive line. But this is a guy that sometimes doesn't show up on the big stage. I'm looking for him to have a big night if they want to have success tonight and win a game.
I hear that, Rodney. I'm looking at Malcolm Jenkins. He's the quarterback of this Eagles defense. He's going to be important tonight, not only to protect these corners, stay deep, help out in the pass game against Russell Wilson, but you'll see him at the line of scrimmage a lot too, whether it's spying at Russell Wilson or helping in the run game.
I think the team who runs the ball the best is going to win it. Seattle got big performances from Carson and Penny, but they're not here. Marshawn Lynch has had a full week of practice. He is the key, I think, for their offense tonight.
The Eagles have had a bunch of Vince Papalis lately on offense, but Zach Ertz, their key tight end, is back with a kidney and rib injury, cleared to play, and will play today.
He's one of the leaders on offense, leader on the defensive side of the ball. On the field, when he's out there for offense, is defense for Seattle. Now a 5-time All-Pro, Bobby Wagner, 5th time he was voted an All-Pro, confirmed this week. We'll watch how he patrols the middle and the inside of that defense for the Seahawks, who are playing this game where they've been good this year on the road. The reason they're on the road and not at home as the 3 seed, within inches. Jacob Hollister couldn't get in, so Liam McHugh talked to Pete Carroll at the visitors' locker room.
Pete, your team was inches away from hosting a playoff game. Now you start out on the road. How did you guys move on from last week's loss?
Well, you know, we finished that game really well, except for 2 inches, you know. And so we know that we put ourselves in position to win it and all that. And so we tried to take that out of it, realizing it was a great matchup and all. And so it was no problem getting ready. You know, we got to go, you know. And so our guys know how to turn the page, and we did that again, and we were primed and ready to go for a big ball game.
Marshawn Lynch gets a full week of practice leading up to this one. How does that change how you're able to use him?
Well, we know a lot more than we did last week at this time, you know, and the fact that he's played, he bounced back great, didn't affect him playing in a game. So we've got him available to us on regular proportions and all that, and we'll just see how that fits together.
6 weeks ago, you were here in Philadelphia, beat the Eagles, forced 4 turnovers from Carson Wentz. What's the best way to attack a quarterback with his skill set?
Well, it's not a whole lot different than a lot of other guys. You got to rush the passer. You know, if you can get that done, sometimes it comes from the coverage and he has to hold the football. But we certainly have to see if we can find a way to generate some pressure and make it hard on the QB. It really doesn't matter who you're playing. That's kind of how you got to go about it.
Thanks so much.
You got it.
All right, Liam and Pete, thank you. Some key injury updates in this game. Quandre Diggs with the ankle will go. Dwayne Brown will not on that offensive line for Seattle. You see Miles Sanders in shot there. The rookie running back will go, but he will not have Lane Johnson leading the way. The terrific tackle is out with an ankle injury. So let's take you back to yesterday. The AFC side of Wild Card Weekend was just that, wild. In overtime, Deshaun Watson, the defining play here, Tony.
Buffalo dials up the perfect defense. They have 2 free blitzers, and Deshaun Watson just makes an unreal play to get the ball out.
Leslie Frazier, the defensive coordinator, and the players involved, Saran Neal, Matt Milano, going to see this in their sleep and their dreams. For nightmares for weeks and weeks to come.
Not a dream.
It set up Amy Fairbairn from 28 yards. The Texans down 16-0, rally and keep the Bills winless in the postseason since 1995. Josh Allen, some wild and crazy plays, but you feel this team is still on the rise. The other game, Derrick Henry was terrific.
Yeah, the one guy that you have to stop is Derrick Henry. Everybody knows that. So much for the boogeyman and how great this Patriots defense is. For 2 weeks straight, they can't stop any offense. Titans will be moving on, Mike.
34 carries, 182 yards. Of course, the big story is Tom Brady at the end of it.
Yeah, well, definitely. Desperate situation here. They're trying to run the hook and ladder. Brady gets pick six here. But, hey, New England, they got to find more weapons around Brady. Brady's 42. He's not capable of carrying the team anymore like he once was. So I don't know. Will this be the last time we see him or not? I don't know.
Yeah, good question. We won't see him the rest of the way. Tennessee's at Baltimore, late game Saturday night on CBS. And Sunday, CBS will have the Texans hosting Kansas City. So the South sweeps the East out of the AFC postseason. Back to Brady. What's next, Mike?
Well, for the first time in his career, he gets to choose what he wants next season. Will he stay with the Patriots? Maybe. Will he retire? He said that's pretty unlikely. One thing to watch is him going to another team where maybe he'd get the keys to the offense, like Peyton Manning did when he went to the Broncos 8 years ago, staying for maybe 3 years, maybe longer, and having another opportunity to build something with a new team. Don't rule that out.
Mike, I think if Tom Brady stays, Bill Belichick is going to have to go to Tom Brady and say, I want you on my team. I want to continue to build around you. I'm going to help you with the roster, and I'm going to pay you something very fair. But it's going to take Coach Belichick going to Brady saying, I want you here.
And after all of those games going against Tom, seeing him in that Patriot uniform, I just can't picture him playing for anyone else, but I couldn't picture Peyton Manning playing for the Broncos either, and it happened.
I just would be shocked if he left town. I mean, he's just such a fabric part of the DNA of the Patriots. He's Robert Kraft's adopted son, I feel like. I just have a hard time thinking that. And plus, I ask this. I mean, at 42, do you really want to go somewhere else and start over when you have a team in New England that's maybe only a player or two away from a Super Bowl team?
It felt like he wants to keep playing from his comments.
Right.
But I'd say I was there last night when the stadium emptied out. It just felt different.
He's not going out like we just
last
saw that
night?
pick six, yeah.
To be continued. Florio will have this for the next 3 months on Pro Football Talk. New England denied the chance of the fourth straight trip to the Super Bowl. One lucky fan's going to be there, though. Moments ago, the commissioner, Roger Goodell, surprised Jackson Duncan with Super Bowl tickets. Jackson's a great guy, executive founder and executive director of Focused Athletics, a Philly-based nonprofit that takes underprivileged high school athletes, provides them with college prep and a space to train. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Enjoy more Football Night in America, Wildcard Edition after this.
This special edition of Football Night in America is brought to you by Applebee's All You Can Eat, now with boneless wings. By the strongest, most advanced family of Silverados ever. By Microsoft Surface. And by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
You choose tonight's winner yet?
Man, Rod's really into our Lowe's partnership.
Yeah. You hear about the other day? I'm watering my fern, and Rod's like, I'm really feeling that plant. You need anything from Lowe's? I go, no, I'm good. He's like, I got you. Next day I come in, my entire office is a greenhouse. I'm like, Rod? He's like, shh, feel that chi. Dude, my keyboard is growing sprouts.
Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's and vote for tonight's winner at NBCSports.com.
This is Football Night in America, presented by Allstate.
You know you're looking at a winner.
Which one is an eagle and which one's not?
No, this eagle.
Which one is which?
Okay, this not eagle.
This is the eagle.
And he spins and he's in. Boston Scott.
Wait a second. Run it back again. Eagle, not eagle.
Greg Ward, where have you been all our lives?
No shot.
Not an eagle, eagle.
Neither one of these are Eagles players.
This one's an eagle. This one's not an eagle.
Dallas Goedert leaping high.
I don't care if I'm right or wrong. The Eagles are in the playoffs.
They're both Eagles. Carson Wentz.
I love it. I may not know you, but if you're one of us, you're one of us. Boston Scott's one of them, always overlooked. Didn't make his team in 6th grade because he was too short. He had to walk on to Louisiana Tech, but he's made the most of his opportunity in Philly, given to him by Doug Peterson, who spoke with Liam a short time ago.
Doug's certainly been an interesting season. How would you describe this team's road to hosting a playoff game this year?
This has been a resilient group. What we've done here in the month of the last month of the season is just, it's not a shocking, revelation to me. I just know what these guys are all about and how the hard work and preparation that goes into really to just have an opportunity to be in games like this. They've done a great job, great leadership, and we're going to need that again today.
Carson Wentz has been waiting a long time for this moment. How do you get the best out of him tonight?
Carson just needs to be Carson. What he's done the last half of the season, and particularly these last 4 weeks, just continue to distribute the football and do the things that are necessary to win, and sometimes that means extend plays with his legs, and if he's got to do that, he can, and just trust the guys around him. They're going to play hard for him, and rely on our defense, special teams, and make it a 60-minute game.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
A couple of Super Bowl winning head coaches going against each other here this evening. Time now to simplify the game, powered by Microsoft Surface. He referenced the last 4 games when they've been better. Carson Wentz has come across a bridge. He's much better in these 4 games. Take us back to when they played Seattle the first time around.
Right. Well, he was sloppy the first time around and turned the ball over. The Eagles offense had 5 turnovers altogether. He had interceptions. But here's a great example. Can't do this tonight against Seattle. You got pressure by your feet. You can't stand there. It doesn't always have to be the last play of the game. I got to save every play. Sometimes you throw it away, right, Coach? Sometimes you just take the sack.
Yeah, and this is what he has to do. This is a screen pass. Seattle reads it. It's not there. Now, Rodney, he's got to be decisive, make something happen.
Yeah, and he's scrambling with a lot more confidence. And what the scrambling does, it buys time for your offensive line, but it also helps your wide receivers get open. He's going to have to use his legs, move around inside and outside that pocket to be a threat against the defense, Mike.
Because of all the unknown guys around him, he's had to be the man. That's maybe helped his leadership a little bit. Let's see if he gets a playoff win. Special playoff edition of Sunday Night 7. Once again, $100,000 will be given away. We're going to start your year off the right way. Give it away for free. So, Chris, help good people out.
Okay.
Carson Wentz, how many passing yards?
I'm going to go 250 to 299. Okay, they don't have enough receivers in deep threat to go over 300, but I think Ertz and Goddard and their running backs, they'll nickel and dime the Seattle defense to death, and he gets over at least 250.
All right, download the NBC Sports Predictor app to play. You've already got one right answer from Chris Sims.
Right. That was a right answer.
Well, I'm sorry. Here's Russell Wilson, 4-0 his career against the Eagles. Has he been as good on the road in the postseason? No. We'll see if he can do it in South Philly. Seahawks and Eagles all set for the wild card game. Coming soon.
Simplify the game. Powered by Microsoft Surface, the official sideline technology provider of the NFL.
More Russell Wilson magic.
Ball is picked up. Sliding goes the other way. He's in. Touchdown.
Marshawn Lynch.
Flying over the top.
Downfield for DK Metcalf. He's got it. Touchdown, Seattle.
Nobody's happier than Pete Carroll about this one.
Been a very interesting story for Seattle this season, and the last line of the regular season included Marshawn Lynch's return, 12 carries, 34 yards, back in the playoffs for the first time since the divisional game in 2016. More on the Seahawks offense against the Eagles defense. Back to Tony, Rodney, and Chris.
Yes, and Chris, in the warm-ups, you focused on Malcolm Jenkins, and he was a big key in that first game when they played. And here we're going to take a look at him up near the line of scrimmage to concentrate on that run game. Not only he, but the free safety. And what does this tell quarterback Russell Wilson?
Well, he loves this. He's going, please, no safety in the middle of the field, one-on-one with my great athletic wide receivers. This is what a quarterback's dream is made of right here.
Yeah, look at this. This is a 9-man box right there. And if I'm a DB, who wants to guard DK Metcalf, one of the biggest, fastest guys, as well as Tyler Lockett? Not only do you have to defend them and protect the deep part of the field, but you got to tackle these guys.
Yeah, and with no free safety in the middle, they've got these guys all over the field, and this is just too dangerous.
Chris, as a quarterback, when you see that, where are you going?
What, you're going to probably DK Metcalf or Lockett, whoever gets the best release off the ball. You're going deep. Please don't do this, Philadelphia. Play 2 safeties back. There's issues with the running game in Seattle right now. Call their bluff. Make Seattle run the football.
Protect your corners.
Yeah, Philadelphia's got a really good run defense. I protect those corners.
And Mike, that's not their personality. We'll see if they change today.
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
What will Jim Schwartz do on that side? Mike Florio's back with me. The game's in Philly, not Dallas, because the Cowboys didn't win the NFC East, and we think a head coaching change is coming, but it hasn't happened officially yet.
Well, it hasn't happened, and Jason Garrett, the coach of the Cowboys, still wants to be the coach of the Cowboys. His contract expires in a week and a half. The Cowboys have no announcement. I checked with him again today, but they acknowledge they've had people in to discuss the job while they still have a guy in the job. Marvin Lewis, the former Bengals head coach, Mike McCarthy, the former Packers head coach, already talking to the Cowboys about a job that isn't vacant yet. I asked one source what's going on, and the response was, It is what it is.
Of course, stay tuned for that. You know whose name hasn't come up? Josh McDaniels. But now that the Patriots season is done, will we start hearing his name a little bit more and connected with some jobs directly?
Absolutely, and the Patriots are bracing for him to leave if he gets an offer. And for the first time since his return to New England, he's able to go be hired. They don't have to wait. You know, the Colts had to wait until after the Super Bowl to not hire Josh McDaniels, right. And now somebody could hire him. And the thinking is if he gets an offer, he will go.
And I wonder how that plays into the Brady stuff you were talking about earlier. Mike, thank you. We will continue working towards the fourth and final wild card game of what's been a sensational weekend. Minnesota trying to win the game down at the 2-yard line against New Orleans in overtime, trying to move on as the 6th seed to San Francisco next week. Highlights if it's over coming up. Welcome to those of you who watched the first wild card game. We're moments away from the kickoff of the second game. Russell Wilson and the Seahawks going on the road where they've been sensational this year. 7 of their wins. Carson Wentz and the Eagles winning their last 4. 3 of them against weaker competition to find their way to the NFC East Championship. We're 7 minutes away from the wild card game. But those of you who just saw the game, let's take you back to Minnesota and New Orleans. 3-3 early on. Taysom Hill at the big arm and the big play.
Weapon. I mean, this is what he does. He made a lot of big plays in this game, stretches the Minnesota defense out, which was an issue for the Saints today. Taysom Hill brought that with his big right arm.
The 50-yard pass downfield, Deontay Harris, and put New Orleans in position to score, go up 10-3 after a Vikings field goal. Here's a key play. Breeze trying to take the deep shot down the field. Couldn't get it all the way there and is picked off.
No, and we saw this last year in the playoffs. Remember the first play against the Eagles, underthrew a deep post route, and that's what happens when you're 41.
And Tony, nice drive here. Dalvin Cook caps it off.
He was outstanding in the first half. Big run threat, got Minnesota going.
So the Vikings by 3. Rodney, we go to the third quarter, and Kirk Cousins, as he's contacted, hits Adam Thielen.
Yeah, Adam Thielen struggled in the first half. He had a fumble, drop pass, and a penalty, but made a huge play on that one.
So it leads to this Dalvin Cook touchdown. Now, Minnesota is up 10 in the third quarter. New Orleans has very little going on offense. Minnesota has momentum. But once again, as we go to the fourth, Taysom Hill is heard from. Drew Brees trying to find some rhythm offensively. And here, after Hill ran it down, he catches a touchdown.
Catches it down. Great play design here by Sean Payton. Great throw by Drew Brees. And Taysom Hill, yeah, when he's on the field, you got to watch for where he is. They're trying to get him the ball.
20-17, 4.5 minutes. Now it's Hill trying to run and running over people.
Yeah, very physical. He's their best weapon outside of Michael Thomas. The question is why does he ever come off the field?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So, in position a couple of times where the Saints here late, just before the play clock runs out. Breeze in trouble and loses the ball here, a fumble.
Danielle Hunter was outstanding all day with the pressure coming off that left side.
So now the Saints see Minnesota get it back. They try to run it down. Looked like they had a fumble, but it was overturned. A correct call. Breeze late, trying to get to field goal range. Jared Cook was a factor in the second half. Inside the 30, they're getting in Will Lutz's field goal range. Lutz, who missed a field goal earlier, had a chance to tie the game. Kicked one before Mike Zimmer took a timeout. The second one, he didn't hit his pure, but he just gets it over the crossbar. It's good. We go to overtime in the playoffs. 4th OT playoff game in the last 6. The playoffs have been so good. Minnesota gets the ball. New Orleans never touches it. Here's a play action. The fake to Cook. The deep shot to Thielen.
Deep shot to Marshawn Lattimore out of the game. They recognize that. That's Patrick Robinson, the backup up. Hey, guys, I just want to ask, does this count as prime time? Does that count?
It counts as big time.
No doubt.
Stopped on first down, stopped on second down. Golden Dover, Kyle Rudolph in the corner for the touchdown. And the Minnesota Vikings go to New Orleans, and the Saints lose on the walk-off score for the 3rd consecutive postseason.
Yes, was it offensive pass interference? That'll be the question the Saints fans are asking.
So Minnesota will go to San Francisco in Santa Clara. Technically, we'll see you there to start divisional weekend, 4:35 Eastern Time football night. Well before that on Saturday. The winner of this game will go to Green Bay. And let's take a look at this evening's winners, brought to you by Lowe's. Liam McHugh has his pick in America.
Yeah, Mike, we'll start with America's pick. America on Seattle, 71%. Now, I don't want to dive too deep into the analytics, but in the history of the NFL playoffs, there have been 10 different battles of the birds. The home team has won all 10 of them. That streak ends here tonight. I'm taking the road birds. I'm taking the seabirds. I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks. Floria, who do you have?
Playoff experience, Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks. I love what the Eagles have done, but I think it's going to be too much to overcome against the Seahawks today, guys.
All right, Chris Sims, why don't you go?
I'm going with the home birds. I'm going to the Philadelphia Eagles at home. Carson Wentz, Ertz, everything. I think they win a close football game, 17-14.
I'll jump in here and take Seattle. I think the Seahawks, who've been so good on the road, will do that. Rodney?
You ready?
I'm thinking. I'm still thinking. I'm going to let Coach go.
I'm going to tell you, the team that runs the ball the best today is going to win it. And I think that's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to get their run game going. Carson Wentz will do just enough to get this game.
I know the Eagles have all these backup guys, and these young guys are hungry. Take it from a fifth-round draft choice. You're one play away from going back on the practice squad. I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
One key, when the Seahawks have the ball on offense, what's one key in your mind?
Well, protect the corners on the Philadelphia defense. Make them show you they can run the ball on that great Eagles run-stopping front.
And when Philadelphia has the ball, one key for you?
I think it's going to be Carson Wentz creating off-script plays.
Yeah. Awesome. Those are this evening's winners, brought to you by Lowe's. 9 teams are alive for the Super Bowl. 2 will get to Miami. Playoff football's back in South Philly. It's been an unbelievable weekend. Almost the entire weekend of wildcard games has been within a 1-score margin. So you know we've got a good one set for you. Seattle, Philadelphia, as the sun sets at the lake. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya set to bring it to you. We'll see you at halftime. Then the Golden Globes tonight. Lock it on NBC. Enjoy a great end to this wild card weekend.
Football Night in America, presented by Allstate.